Hey everybody, welcome back. I hope you all had a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, whatever you choose to celebrate in your house. Christy and I had a nice break with family and have a little bit of a gap here between Christmas and New Year's before we take off and head to Florida to hang out with my side of the family. So I thought this would be a great chance to make another one of these videos that you all seem to be enjoying so far, and hopefully there's enough of you still at home not checked into work where you can sit and hang out with me for a few minutes while we discuss today's topic. And today's topic is audiophile or hi-fi opinions. And this is not a topic that has been suggested by you. Well, kind of, maybe it has, but this is a topic that I, being a YouTuber in the hi-fi space, have to kind of deal with. And that is hi-fi, audiophile, and even home theater opinions. Obviously, this is an opinion channel, so you are always tuning in and hearing my opinion, but conversely, because this is a community and I like that aspect of it more so than any other medium in this space, including print, it is a two-way street in that we do engage in conversation, and thus I do get to hear your opinions. And that's awesome because, like I said, your opinions help inform things that we do on this channel. And that's great. But sometimes opinions can become rather divisive. And when left unchecked, or when not applied through a certain filter, or when not given context, certain opinions can lead to misinformation. And this is one of the things that has bugged me about not only this hobby, but just, I think just medium in general, or media in general, is that when it comes to opinions, understand that they're personal, they're subjective, and they often only apply to the person stating them. And so I'll just take it from my perspective. As a reviewer, obviously I am doing my best to put myself in as many different shoes as possible when it comes to evaluating a product. And I do my best to give you a broad strokes, summation of what you can expect from said product. But ultimately, it's still my opinion based on what I think people are going to take away from the performance or the day-to-day usability of said thing, and how that might help you. But ultimately, you are always viewing something through my filter, and thus you are getting my opinion. And where this may differ from yours in the sense, beyond the sense that we all hear things differently. We all like different things. Sound quality, hell, picture quality, everything about quality is subjective. 100% subjective. There is no definitive right and wrong. There is no definitive answer. There is no tried and true. There are guides. There are ways of maybe doing better than something else. Or there are ways of, yes, this is often better than this. But at the same time, while I can show you that the majority of people may prefer X, there's always going to be a number of outliers that prefer Y. And because of that, this isn't a very clear-cut hobby. This isn't a very clear-cut topic. And it's compounded even more by people like myself. This isn't to brag. I'm just going to say I tend to be exposed to more things within this hobby or space than the average person, because it is part of my job to be exposed to said items, said topics, said equipment in order to then present it or bring it to you. But as a result of that, my opinions often and do change probably more frequently than some of you watching this. And this is really what was the inspiration for me wanting to talk about this particular topic. Because so often I will review something, or so often I will make a video and I will state something that in that moment or through the course of weeks and months, I've come to a conclusion or a formed and hopefully intelligent opinion on something. And then subsequently, upon publishing said video, the comment section usually breaks down one of two, maybe three ways, and that is you agree, you disagree, or you hold an opinion that is somewhere in the middle. But what I find interesting is that a lot of times the opinions tend to be based on experiences that may or may not have as much context in the present day. And that's not to say that the opinion is bad. That's not to say that the opinion is bad at all, but it is to say that it is definitely an opinion that was formed a while ago and thus holds true to that person, to the viewer that may have left it or commented one way or another. But that may not make it advice or a steadfast opinion to hold in 2019. And a great way to kind of really a lens to look at this is, vinyl versus digital, streaming versus physical media. A lot of people that hold true to physical media because of things like ownership, things of, quality and those types of arguments. Whereas people who are very fine with streaming are fine with streaming because maybe they've never had this thing of ownership, this need or even the ability to own. There are a number of people that watch this channel where I doubt the general practice of going out and buying physical media has even occurred to them or even been an option for them because they grew up in a streaming generation. And so no amount of sharing opinion or talking down to that person about their wanting or willingness to stream versus someone else's opinions toward physical media is going to really change that, because you're really now talking about two completely different types of people. And one is not better than the other, and one is not more informed than the other. They're just truly two different types of people. It's kind of like traveling to a foreign country. We're all human, but we have vastly different ways of going about our daily lives. And so that's where certain things like respect come into play for me, in that in order for this hobby to grow, there are just certain kind of truths that we have to adopt. And these truths have nothing to do with performance. They have nothing to do with quality. They have absolutely everything to do with acceptance. We just have to kind of accept that there are multiple ways of doing things. There are multiple ways of enjoying oneself. And there is no right way, good or bad, in order to do it. And even when we're giving out tips like, this is how you place a subwoofer, or for best optimal speaker placement, you may want to look at this. Those are general rule of thumb, but they are not hard and fast rules. Because every speaker is a little bit different, and everybody's room's a little bit different, and thus everybody's tastes are going to be just a little bit different. And as a result, you can comment, you can want things like, it's not neutral, or it's this, it's that. If you want a totally off the charts top end and no bass, then you're a fool. Well, to someone, that may be a very pleasurable sound. That may be what they want. And there's no reason to want to take that away from them. There's no reason to call them silly, stupid, or worse for liking that. Conversely, as we get older and our hearing degrades, that it becomes a very pleasurable sound because we can hear it. Oftentimes the high frequency information is the first thing to go in hearing. And as a result, the brighter a speaker becomes, the older you get, the more you're likely going to choose said speaker. That doesn't make you wrong. It just means that as your body changes, chemistry changes, your age, and everything else that comes into play changes, well, you're changing your equipment accordingly to continue to replicate perhaps a sound that you had in your 20s that you now gravitate towards products that in your 20s you would have been like, oh no, that's garbage, But today, for some inexplicable reason, it sounds amazing. It sounds great. It sounds perfect. It even may sound neutral. That's where I think opinions are important. Opinions are good. We want to encourage opinions, but I just really, I want to maintain some semblance of perspective about what all of this is, including my own opinion. Understand that I have tastes. I have a way of doing things. I have a way of wanting things, and you may not agree with it, and that's fine. And there are ways that you can exercise your choice to share your opinion. You can continue to watch and share your opinion in the comments. To the contrary, you cannot watch, you cannot subscribe, and thus never venture back to this channel. But no one's right and no one's wrong. No one's better at anything or worse at there's not winners and losers here. This hobby is 100% subjective, and it is 100% about enjoyment. So the only thing that matters is if you enjoy yourself with the equipment you have. And that can be used, that can be new, that can be a combination of both. That can be a speaker that the whole world thinks is bright and you happen to think is fine. That can also be a speaker that the whole world thinks is great and you didn't buy it because you happen to think it's garbage and you bought something else. It doesn't matter. What matters most is that you participate, you engage, you enjoy yourself, and thus that enjoyment is going to rub off on someone else. And maybe, just maybe, that person, young and old, will want to join in. And that's what's most important. That is the crutch that this whole fun world we live in, that's really what it's about. So that was what was swirling around in my head this morning. And it was partially, it's been on my mind for the last couple of days, and some very ugly things happened yesterday in the comment section of this channel that I felt, because these videos that we've been doing here, I think this is the 4th or 5th one now, have been so much more kind of theory and conversational based that it does lend itself to a much different conversation, versus a review. Certain reviews are just like, well, would I be happy with this? Would I be happy with that? Or what would you compare A to this, and so on. That's a lot of the comments from reviews, but these videos get personal, and I love that. But they can also get incredibly personal in a very dangerous and unhealthy way. And unfortunately, a couple people on this channel had to leave us yesterday, and a few of them were even reported to higher levels or higher powers or authorities because it was too much. I've alluded to this, I've covered this before, and it bears repeating. I don't want to make too many more videos that are like, hey everyone, like, let's just remember this is about fun. But it is the holidays, and it's important as we go into the new year to take a step back, reevaluate, or maybe evaluate for the first time what it is that we want out of what it is that we enjoy. What do we want to make time for? What do we want to make room for? And what is it ultimately that brings us the most satisfaction and joy? So let me know. Let me know what you guys think. What are your goals? What do you want? What is it that you think is missing from the conversation? Because let's get a new conversation started. Let's show the hobby, where we want to go, where this is all going. So anyway, that's my video, that's my speech, my rant, whatever you want to call it, for today. So thank you guys so much for watching, and as always remember, this whole video has been kind of about it, but remember, at the end of the day, the only person that has to like the sound of your system is you. So happy listening. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, take care. Bye.